Every woman that entered his life became his punching bag. Ekene would boast to his friends that women are to submit to men in every way, and they should be disciplined if they are disrespectful in any way. He met one gentle-looking woman. The lion inside of him became a trembling goat. What she did till today, people are still talking about it. Sit back and enjoy Ekene's story. Once upon a time, in the heart of Lagos, there lived a young man named Ekene. If you saw him on a Saturday morning, you think he was the choir master of heaven itself. Tall, dark, well-dressed, and always smiling like he just brushed his teeth with imported toothpaste. But my people, behind that smile was pepper soup mixed with hot slap. Ekene had one weakness. He thought women were meant for cooking, cleaning, and collecting beating like rent. Then he met Amaka. Amaka, a gentle nurse with very cute dimples, was his first victim, and for 2 months, Ekene played Romeo, opening car doors, sending flowers, even pretending to have ulcer so she could cook him pepper soup. Then one day, he asked her to move in. At first, she said no, but Ekene knelt down with tears in his eyes and promised heaven and earth. 2 weeks later, the heaven he promised turned into thunderstorm. One evening, Amaka came back late from a hospital shift. Ekene shouted, "Why didn't you cook? Where are my clean clothes?" Before she could explain, Boza! He landed her a slap that shifted her ear. Amaka ended up in the same hospital where she worked, as a patient this time. The day she was discharged, she packed her bags and left. She told her colleagues, "If I stay 1 more week, they will admit me here permanently." After Amaka escaped, Ekene found love again with Ngozi, a hard-working civil servant. Ngozi was the type of woman who could cook a Bisi soup while washing. She was a complete wife material. She cooked, she cleaned, and even ironed Ekene's boxers like she was ironing national flag. But one day, Ekene asked her for a loan. "Baby, I need just 500,000 to solve an issue in my business." Ngozi responded in the most respectful way. "Sweetheart, I wish I could help, but I really don't have up to that saved up." Ekene flared up. "So you are telling me you don't have just 500,000? You are a lazy woman. How can you be depending on just your salary?" Ngozi looked at him. "Me? Lazy?" Before long, punches and scratches were flying like Nigerian parliament. But Ngozi fought back. Ngozi beat him and gave him a wound so bad that people in the compound asked him, "Oga, did you wrestle with a tiger?" Ngozi loved Ekene too much to break up with him. She was ready to continue their cat and mice relationship. After one of their big fights, Ekene went crying to Ngozi's friend Bisi. "Bisi, your friend is wicked. She doesn't support me financially. Imagine a woman refusing to invest in her man's future." Bisi, who had always been eyeing Ekene, said, "I'm so sorry you had to go through that," she said in a smooth, soft voice. "Ekene, just don't give up on love. Every woman is not like Goazi," Bisi reassured Ekene. Every week, Bisi showed up with food at Ekene's house, and soon after, she graduated to cooking there. Small, she started wearing his shirts to cook, and then boom, she climbed his bed. Bisi and Ekene chopped the forbidden fruit. Bisi felt she was in heaven. Bisi professed her love to Ekene, telling him she will be the best decision he has ever made. "Don't worry, I'm not like her. "I'll take care of you," she said to Ekene. But they always say that the same cane that was used on the first wife is waiting for the second wife. Bisi had no idea why her friend ran away from a rich and handsome boyfriend. She believed Ekene's version of the story, mostly because she couldn't ask Goazi what really happened. She was too busy taking over her man, but she was about to learn the hard way. Bisi was a successful media influencer who couldn't help but flaunt her successful relationship on social media. She was the queen of TikTok, whose followers believed her every word. She was known for posting videos like, "Ladies, love yourself. Don't let any man treat you like rag." The irony was that the same week she posted that video, she moved in with Ekene. Bisi showered Ekene with gifts, expensive sneakers, surprise birthday party, even iPhone. People were whispering, "Kai, Ekene don't hammer." One day, Goazi confronted Bisi. "So, you are the one that snatched my man?" Bisi calmly responded, "Please oh, nobody snatch anybody. If your man sees a better woman in me, is it my fault?" The two women nearly fought at a lounge, and the video went viral. Instead of Bisi being ashamed of trending because of fighting over a man, Bisi made another TikTok video. "Ladies, if you know your worth, men will leave other women and choose you. Love can sweet like honey today and be bitter like bitter leaf tomorrow." Bisi thought she had won the jackpot of men. She was busy posting TikTok videos like, "Ladies, if you want peace in your relationship, be submissive." Her followers were clapping for her in the comments. One Sunday evening, she cooked jollof rice. Ekene tasted it and said, "This rice is too salty. Are you trying to kill me?" Bisi replied softly, "But I only put a pinch of salt." Before she could finish, bam! He slapped her so hard. She screamed, "Ekene, why would you hit me over small salt?" Ekene shouted back, "If you don't like it, leave my house. Pack your things and go." Bisi cried that night like a widow. By morning, she had convinced herself, "If I leave, people will mock me. Goazi will laugh at me. My fans will call me a hypocrite. No, I can't leave." So instead of leaving, she went to Ekene with tears in her eyes and knelt down to beg him. "My love, I am sorry. I promise to do better. Please don't leave me." Ekene looked at her, pretending to think deeply, then hissed, "Women of these days, they don't know their place. Better adjust or I'm gone." To seal her apology, Bisi even transferred 2 million naira into his account. That same evening, she posted online, "Ladies, a wise woman holds her man with patience and submission." And her followers were typing, "Ah, God, when?" Meanwhile, the same woman was wearing foundation like cement to cover bruises. The second fight came like Hamatan breeze, unexpected but dry and painful. One night, Bisi was editing her TikTok video. Ekene entered and started screaming, "Why are you always on your phone? Are you chatting with another man?" Bisi laughed nervously. "Baby, it's content creation." He snatched the phone, looked at it. He saw nothing suspicious, but he still pushed her against the wall. Neighbors heard her scream but kept quiet. After all, na husband and wife matter. That night, Bisi sat on the bathroom floor staring at her swollen face in the mirror. "How come?" she whispered. "Ngozi never told me this man was abusive. Or is it that she wanted me to feel the same pain?" Bisi wanted to leave, but her pride told her, "If you leave, your friend will laugh at you. The internet will roast you. Stay and fight for your relationship." 2 weeks later, Bisi wore dark shades to cover her black eye and went to a shopping mall. As fate would have it, she bumped into Goazi, the same friend she had snatched Ekene from. Goazi looked at her from head to toe and raised an eyebrow. "Bisi, why are you wearing shades inside a mall?" "Eh?" Bisi was quiet. Her throat went dry. Goazi leaned closer and whispered, "Has Ekene also turned you into a punching bag too?" Bisi didn't respond. Ngozi stared at her for a long time, but instead of pitying her, she burst out laughing. Well, at least now I know it wasn't me. It wasn't because I was poor or lazy. It's just his lifestyle. He enjoys beating women. Well, my friend, enjoy your relationship, Ngozi said and walked away. Bisi blinked back tears. For the first time, she realized she wasn't special. She was just the next victim. When Bisi walked away from Goazi that day with a heavy heart, she wanted to scream, to tell the whole world that her life was not the fairy tale she painted online. But instead, she posted a video with makeup covering her bruises, smiling like nothing was wrong. Ladies always forgive, love conquers all. But by night, she lay alone in her room and whispered to herself, love or fear, which one am I living in? My people, when the pain becomes too much, even a goat will look for a way out of the rope. Bisi started secretly planning her escape for months. She saved up money, hid some documents, and one early morning, while Ekene was still snoring like generator, she packed her bags and vanished. By the time Ekene woke up, all he saw was an empty wardrobe and a note that said, I choose life over fear. Where did Bisi go? Well, she went straight to Ghana. She went to start afresh, far away from Ekene's feast and far away from shame. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, Ekene continued his life as if nothing happened. One afternoon, his mother visited him at the office. The woman sat down. Ekene, my son, time is going. When will you marry? Your mate already have 3 children. Mama, I haven't met someone, Ekene said. His mother exclaimed, haven't met? With all the women running in and out of your life like tenants? Nonsense. Anyway, my friend's daughter Ime has just returned to the country. She's a beautiful girl, calm girl, not like the stubborn goat you have been chasing. Ekene's eyes lit up. Mama, continue. You must marry her, he said. In fact, don't waste time courting her. Pay her bride price quickly and don't allow her to move in before marriage. That is why the others ran. You see, Mama wasn't interested in her son's bad character. Whether he was an abuser or a saint, it didn't matter. All she wanted was a wife for her son, so she could boast to her friends that her son was now married. But neither Ekene or his mother could have preempted what was about to happen. None of them saw it coming. If you're enjoying this story, please click the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you should consider subscribing because I share really interesting African tales on this channel. Back to the story. So, Ekene and his mother cooked the plan like soup. Ime, their friend's daughter, was brought into the picture. She was a beautiful young woman, gentle as water, soft-spoken and respectful. The type of woman Ekene's mother believed would calm her lion of a son. To Ekene, she looked like an answered prayer. At last, he thought, a woman who wouldn't argue, who wouldn't fight back. He felt safe and he felt powerful. But sometimes, the calmest waters hide the deepest current. Ime was not the weakling he imagined, but very soon, Ekene and his mother were going to discover that their so-called perfect plan was nothing but a recipe for disaster. Ime had been married to Ekene for barely 2 weeks when the first storm hit. One afternoon, she prepared dinner, white rice with stew and fried plantain. She placed it on the table, smiling as the new bride should. But Ekene sat down and frowned at the food. Where is the pepper soup? I told you I wanted, he barked. Ime blinked. But you never mentioned pepper soup, my husband. You only said rice. Ekene slammed his fist on the table so hard the plates jumped. Are you calling me a liar? Do you think I don't know what I said? Ime froze. She had never seen that side of him. Her hands trembled. For the first time, she began to wonder, had she married a man or a storm in human form? Ime wasn't ready for the real storm that rocked her home one rainy Saturday morning. She had just finished mopping the living room. Ekene stormed in, his muddy shoes splattering dirt everywhere. She rushed to him gently. My husband, please, I just cleaned. Before she could finish, bam! His palm landed across her face with a crack that echoed louder than the thunder outside. She staggered, almost falling into a chair. Her cheeks burned and her ears rang. She touched her face and stared at him in disbelief. "You slapped me." But Ekene didn't even flinch. He simply turned on the TV and muttered under his breath, "Next time, don't raise your voice at me." That night, Ime's friend Ada came to visit. She noticed the swollen cheek immediately. Ime, what happened to your face?" Ime laughed nervously. "I slipped and hit the door." Ada narrowed her eyes and looked at her intensely. "Ime, I hope for his sake and yours, he is not laying his hands on you," Ada said. But Ime didn't say a word. She refused to answer. Her silence was louder than words, making her friend really worried for Ekene. Keep watching and you will see that she had a big reason to be worried for him. The real shocker came one Sunday afternoon after church. Ekene and Ime had attended service together, holding hands like the perfect couple. But when they stopped at the supermarket on their way home, things turned sour. Ime picked up a loaf of wheat bread instead of white bread. "This is healthier," she said, smiling. In an instant, Ekene's face twisted. "Did I not tell you I don't eat this rubbish?" he shouted, drawing the attention of the shoppers. Ime whispered, Please lower your voice," Ime whispered. But before the words left her mouth, Ekene slapped her. He struck her across the face right there in the aisle in front of strangers. The crowd gasped. A woman dropped her basket and a child started crying. Ime stood frozen, her face stinking, tears boiling in her eyes, but her pride held her upright. The onlooker murmured, "What kind of man is this?" in public, but Ekene acted as if nothing had happened. She picked up his preferred bread and walked towards the counter. Ime followed behind, her heart breaking, her mind racing, and somewhere deep inside, something snapped. At this point, you are wondering, how long will Ime endure? And what was she planning in silence? Well, Ime and Ekene were both heading where Ekene would have never anticipated. Ekene, the self-acclaimed boxing champion, was about to drop his title for good. Ime sat on the edge of the bed one evening, her eyes swollen from silent tears. She looked at her husband, Ekene, who was busy scrolling through his phone as if nothing had happened. She finally broke the silence. "Ekene," she said softly, "we need to talk about your temper. You scream at me over nothing. You slap me as if I am your punching bag. This is not marriage, this is war." Ekene hissed and dropped his phone on the bed. "Ime, stop this nonsense. You are the problem. You don't know how to submit to your husband. A good wife will kneel when her husband raises his voice. You stand up and look me eye to eye. Are you the man in this house?" Ime sighed deeply. Something in her had snapped that day, but she managed to remain calm. "Ekene, I am telling you peacefully now. Don't push me." But Ekene laughed in her face. "Push you? What will you do, eh? Beat me?" he asked. But Ime didn't respond. At least not yet. Ekene was so thankful to his mother that she had picked the best wife for him. But he was celebrating too soon. It happened one Saturday morning. Ime was frying plantain in the kitchen. Ekene came in and shouted, "Why is the plantain cut so slantly? Did I not tell you I like it round? Do you want to kill me with annoyance?" Ime turned slowly. "Ekene, it's just plantain." But before she could blink, bah! His hand landed on her face again. This time, something in her chest turned that away. Ime dropped the plantain, wiped her face, and said in a voice that shook the walls, she said, "Ekene, you have slapped me for the last time." Before Ekene could even form the next word, Ime pounced on him like a lioness. She grabbed his shirt, twisted his arm, and with one swift move, threw him flat on the floor. "Ime, wait!" But she didn't wait. She climbed him and began to beat him mercilessly. Thunderous slaps rained on his face, punches landed on his chest. She dragged him by his singlet till the seam tore. Plantain, you slap me because of plantain. Boza, you think I'm weak because I'm quiet. Boza, today you eat your word. Boza. Ime kept on hitting Ekene. Ekene was wailing like a child, kicking his legs, but he couldn't match her strength. At one point, she dragged him into the sitting room and screamed at him, "From today, you are my errand boy. Get up!" She pushed him towards the fridge. "Bring me cold water." When he staggered back, Ekene got up and opened the fridge and brought out the water. Limping, Ime collected it and said, "Good boy, now kneel down and fan me." Neighbors heard everything and peeped through the window with their mouths wide open. Ekene, the mighty man of the house, was now hopping around like a houseboy. Days after, he couldn't walk straight. His back bent and his lips were still swollen. Out of shame, Ekene began asking questions around town. Who really is this woman I married? What he heard nearly made him faint. Where Ime grew up, she was famous not for beauty alone, but for how she used to beat up her boyfriends. One man was seen limping for 2 weeks after he insulted Ime. Another one confessed that Ime once chased him with pistol when he tried to raise his hand on her. They nicknamed her the Iron Lady of Niger. Ekene couldn't believe it. He had married a gentle-looking lioness. From that day, my people, Ekene's story changed. The lion had turned into a goat. Ime didn't even need to raise her voice. One sharp look from her and he would rush to sweep the compound, wash plate or fan her while she sipped cold water. The neighbors nicknamed him Ekene the errand boy. His friends stopped visiting because every time they came around, they would meet him kneeling in the sitting room or polishing Ime's toenails. That was how the mighty Ekene lost his crown as a self-acclaimed boxing champion and became the official houseboy of the Iron Lady of Niger. Violence in marriage is foolishness. Respect is sweeter when it flows both ways. If you enjoyed this story, I'm very sure you enjoyed this story on your screen right now. Click